Hi, I'm Brittany Drozd, and I help entrepreneurs like you make more money, develop into awesome leaders, and find fulfillment in the process. I first want to thank all of you for being an awesome audience and sending in all your emails, your comments, your direct messages about how these videos have been impacting you and sharing your story. It has been really fun to interact with you on all these different platforms and hear about how you're implementing the different things I've been talking about, but really about the skills you already have and you're using in your business and in your life in these strange times, but also back when things felt normal, and what works for you, because that's really what's most important. I love to come on here and share things that I find are working for me or also working for my clients, but it's really about finding out what works for you. What works for you at home, what works for you in your business, what works for your team. And when you can share that and when we can create a community around that sharing and helping, that's what really gets me excited. I mean, that's why I love what I do. It's really why I've set out to do it in the first place. Which brings me to today's message. So I know there are a lot of you here watching these videos now that maybe don't know my origin story, maybe don't know why I do what I do. And I wanted to take a moment and have a little coffee with you guys and share something that I hope has a positive impact on you and can get you thinking about your story too. So I was always well, I won't say a rule follower, but I definitely loved the structure that school provided me. It was like, okay, do 1, 2, and 3, and you will get really great feedback, and people will give you the validation and the pats on the back that make you feel good. And I loved that model. It was like, okay, I can do those things. And then you mean the rest of the time I can just do whatever I want, and that works? Awesome. I'm all about it. And that worked for me for a long time. And then school ended, and it wasn't confusing right away. I definitely had interests that I wanted to pursue, and went about doing that. And I had luckily had a bit of a network and was able to pull on that to get a job that felt good for me. But I quickly realized that what they teach you in school does not necessarily happen in the real world. And it wasn't too long into this dream job that I had spent really like decades learning to position myself to be great in this role. I realized that this job is like not fun. And I was running a kind of like healthcare facility or services team, and we focused on mental health, and I was so overwhelmed. I truthfully was grossly like underqualified and equipped to manage like 500 people. And it became clear that this was not a place where people were sharing ideas. This is not a place where people were trying to help each other out. And I was getting burnt out very quickly. And it came to this really interesting turn of events where I tried to follow all the rules, all the structure, talk to HR, do all these things, and try to change the culture that we were all working in for everyone's benefit. And my boss didn't see it that way, and she decided to let me go. And I was devastated. I was totally in shock. I was actually in Home Depot picking out paint, and I definitely made some really weird paint choices that day. But I could not believe that that had just happened. I was totally in denial. But the hardest part was trying to reconcile, what did this mean about my identity? Like, what did this mean about all the things that I thought I was? And how could I move forward with this like scarlet letter now? And did this just take away all the things I had worked so hard for, all the badges of honor I had like gotten along the way? There was a time 10 years ago where I could not even imagine telling you this story. I had so much shame around it. I had no idea how I was going to move forward with this. Um, but I did, and I'm here. And I have made a business out of helping people avoid situations like this, recover from situations like this, change the culture of their own businesses so that this is nothing that they have to deal with anymore. And my gosh, I couldn't be happier. Um, I now am in a situation where I get to use this story to help other people. And if I had to go through it so that I can help you avoid it or navigate it or figure out what the silver lining is underneath it, I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that I went on my journey so that I feel confident enough sharing this with you today. Thank you again for listening to this. But here's what I hope. I hope that encourages you to look at the pieces of your story that you don't feel so good about. I hope that you can stop and reflect upon the places that you've been, the steps you've taken that maybe didn't always feel like progress, that maybe felt like steps backwards, or lateral moves, or just total shitstorms and not moves at all. And think about how all these pieces of the puzzle had to align to bring you here today. I really, really want you to reach deep and find the courage to share it with us. Share it with me in a direct message. If you feel really confident, not even confident, courageous, share it in the comments section below. It would mean a lot to me in this community to hear about our different origin stories and what brought us here. You know what it does? It reminds all of us that our story is valuable. It is worth sharing, and it is actually the secret sauce to getting you to where you want to be. So thank you so much for watching today. I have really enjoyed sharing this with you. I hope you found it helpful. Have a good day.